Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another solo board game playthrough. We're going to be playing a solo game of Tabriz, so by Randy Flynn, which you guys should know from Cascadia. This game has had a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with me because this game was supposed to have come out. It was supposed to have delivered back in November of 2023, so a year ago. It crowdfunded successfully at the end of 2022, like in October and November. So it took a while. With any crowdfunding, it happens. So, it is what it is. But we got the game finally. I was a little worried because this was back when I was just into the hobby and I was kind of grabbing everything. And I was like, oh, I like Cascadia, so this must be pretty good. And as time goes on, my tastes refine a little bit more. So I was going to be worried that I wasn't going to like the game. However, I do like the game. It's actually really interesting. And I've played against a couple of the solo opponents, and even playing against this one a few times, the games ended a little differently. The played out very differently because of how the actions take. So the game's actually really straightforward. But I haven't. So what you're going to see now is the first time I'm doing this. And we'll get into that. But basically, the way the game works and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving our apprentices at different spots and either gaining resources or trading those resources, and then optionally using those resources to commission these cards, which are these rugs, I believe. And then that's really the gist of the game. It's just getting resources, doing maybe some conversions, and then fulfilling recipes. It's ultimately what it is. In the solo mode, we do have an AI opponent, and so in the multiplayer game, everybody starts in the middle. The Maidan is the middle tile, but in solo, the apprentices of the AI will be in those three spots, because in solo, if you want to visit a place with the AI's apprentice, you have to pay them. In multiplayer, you actually don't get blocked off. The only way you block off a spot action is if you were there already and you've already taken that action this round. So you can't take the same action more than once on a turn, basically. Or once per round, I mean. So excuse me. So each round is composed of a workshop phase, which is effectively a reset income phase, and then the player turns. And that's 99% of the game's player turns. On our turn, we're going to take one of our apprentices and move it up to 3 spaces away. That does change a little bit later in the game. But up to 3 spaces away, optionally take the action at that place, and optionally complete a commission. So I'm going to do this one time just so that I can use the thematic terminology, and then for the rest of the game I'm going to go by color. But the 5 resources are going to be wool, plant dye, camel hair, carmine dye, and silk. Least expensive to the most expensive. And then we are going to have these different commission cards. There are laborer cards, which are Carmadon cards, which are the ones with the yellow back, which we have to take 4 anyway and choose one. We have the red back cards, which you can kind of see the bottom of. They're the Bazaari cards or the merchant cards, and then we have the Ashoff cards, which are the aristocrat cards, and they will yield us different bonuses and cost different things like that. So let's just hop into it. We're always the first player. It never changes, but this is the first player marker. And before we get too far into it, the game ends once either we've moved our skill marker to the very end, the AI's moved their skill marker to the very end, or we've commissioned 9 commissions. First person to trigger the end of the game gets this bonus, which this actually is upsetting because it's missing. The first player to get this will score 2 points at the end of the game, and whoever triggers the end of the game gets this. And one thing you might notice too is there are metal coins for this game. However, when I backed this, I wasn't in a financial position to. It was 2 years ago. I wasn't looking to get metal coins. Now I'm really hoping I can get them. I can track them down now because now I'm all into metal coins. So anyway, enough of that. Let's hop into it and then we'll go over how the AI works. So first things first, we're going to look. These are our starting cards, and kind of the way the cards look is the top section is what is used to fulfill that contract. This is the reward for it, and then this gives you an ongoing benefit, possibly during the workshop phase. So this is just straight up income. This is 2. I can spend 2 whites for 4 money. I can spend a white for a green, or I can spend a green for 4 money. So effectively, if I were to have both of these completed, I could spend a white and exchange it for 4 money because those would cancel. So you do have small engine building. That gives us money, which I really enjoy. And this one also needs white and yellow, so maybe you want to go for that, but it costs 2 white So we could get some more money that way. So maybe we'll try those two and see where we go. Okay. So basically the way this works is that when we visit one of the places for resources, which we're about to do, we have to spend the amount here, and I'll just zoom in and we can take a look at one of them. So here, for instance, if we were to come to this place and want to buy this, we could spend either 2 money for 1 green, 4 money for 2 green, 6 money for 3 green, or 7 money for 4 or more green. If there are more than 4 and you spend that, you take everything. During the workshop phase, when we're adding back in, this is how many of a tile we're going to add back in. If we ever have to add and it's full, so basically where this X is, we wipe them all out and they're sold out for the round. All these tiles have 2 sides, and so we randomly selected. So these ones are really straightforward. We're going to add, and then if they exceed, we'll take away, but they basically get progressively... They sort of stay the same per unit, but then by the time they get to the end, they're the cheapest. So you kind of want to get them when there's a lot. These tiles, for instance, were switched around, and the way that these ones work is that you have to buy from right to left. So if I wanted to buy here, I could spend 1 money per each of these, and then I get these for 0 money. This one is 4 money for the one, but then 3 money for each to the right. And then this one and this one, basically, once they're wiped out, they're normally wiped out, but these will actually refill the leftmost spot. And this one actually says during the workshop phase, reset this one to 1 if it ever fills up. So when it fills up, instead of wiping them all out, it'll reset to just having 1. So let's kind of go back and do our turn. So because we have to pay him, I think we'll go here first, and we'll go ahead and do this one, and we'll spend 6, and we'll take these 2 yellows. Hopefully he'll move, and I can go here and buy everything up. Because I believe that's what that means. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. The first 2 cost 1, the next 2, yeah. Okay. So the way the AI works, and we'll come down to their board, there are these dice on the board, and then everything that's not on the board is called a dice pool. Now in multiplayer, it's not as it's more so like you can switch some of these out. So the white dice are the most valuable in terms of like what resource they have, and the black dice are the least. So like these 3 items here are on the white die, these 3 are on the black die, and these 3 are on the gray die. So you can kind of see how it's broken up by the hierarchy of the how expensive they are. So these things on the board will have dice, and then at various points in the game, you can switch them out or roll the dice that are on the pool and things like that. That can be manipulated. The way it works for the AI is that basically they can have up to 3 at the beginning of the game, up to 3 of each of the die, and then throughout the game they'll switch them out. But at the beginning, they can have no more than 3 of any given die to start the game during setup. And what we're going to do is, after we roll the dice from setup, which we've already done, we're going to look at their thing here. They're going to take an action based on the dice that they have. They're going to do as much as they can of that action, and then move on to the next one if they have any dice left over. Or if they have nothing they can do, they take the bonus action at the bottom, or the default action. So we're going to look. They've rolled. We rolled at the beginning of the game 2 purples and a red. So they're going to say, do they have 3 purples? They don't. So they have 2 purples. They do. So in this case, it says remove 3 whites and keep 2 of them. So they're going to take that action by taking those off. They're going to move 3 whites from the board and keep 2 of them, which is a huge bummer because I wanted to go there. Next, they're going to go, they have a red left. They're going to go, do they have this? Nope. Do they have this? Nope. Do they have this? They do. So move the rightmost rival apprentice to the closest unoccupied, and it's this symbol, a little dice symbol, which is a tile with dice on it. They're going to move the rightmost apprentice to the closest unoccupied one. So the closest unoccupied is going to be this one. So the rightmost apprentice, this is 2 spaces away, and this is 1 space away. Move the rightmost apprentice to the closest unoccupied. So I think they would move the rightmost apprentice to the closest one. The closest one is this one. I don't know if it's closest to that apprentice, or if it's closest to their closest one. So I'm going to read it that way. So they're going to move to there. And then that's done. So the first action is going to use the white die. The second action, their turn is going to use the gray die. And the third action is going to use the black die. And there are more black die. So throughout the game, they can actually accrue more and do more stuff at the end, which is harder for us. Okay. So for our turn now, we wanted white, and they ended up taking a lot of them. But that's okay. We'll work it out. I think the next thing we want to do is maybe we can do some conversions. So let's go ahead and use one of our people, and we'll go 1, 2, and we'll spend 4 money to take these 2 greens. And we're going to end our turn. Now we're going to go with them. They're going to look. Do they have one of every color? They don't. Do they have 2 reds? They do. So we're going to take those 2 reds off. It says move each rival apprentice to the position of a different player apprentice. Remove 1 material from each of these tiles and keep all returned material. So they're going to move to here, to here, and to here, and there is no material from them to take. But because they did part of the action, they moved. We're going to not do the default action. Next, they're going to do here. They have a green swap. A black die in the bazaar with a die used to trigger this ability. So they're going to take this die and swap it with the black die. Whenever you swap the dice, you do that, and then you re-roll, and then they get to add that there. And I think swapping dice in there doesn't cause them to re-roll. Or maybe it does. Let me see if I can find that real quick. First, you may swap a die. If you do, roll the new die, placing it. Okay, that's if you take the action. I think that's if you take the action there. I think if you swap a die for the AI, we don't roll. Swapping a die into the pool. Whenever a die is swapped into the pool, roll that die and place it as follows. And then when playing the rival workshop. Nope. Okay, that's it. Okay, so we've done everything for the. We have one more turn left. So I still need some whites. Where's the green trade? The green trade's all the way over here, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So it's too far away. I've got no money. Now we can take the action of the Maidan when we're there, so that is a possibility. But actually, I'm going to go 1 to move here and take this white, and then as an optional action, we're going to complete this commission. So we're going to spend 1 white and 2 yellows to get 9 money. Remember, this is progressing towards the end of the game. We're also going to move 1 on the skill track and tuck this under our board. And then later, we can spend 2, during the workshop phase, we can spend 2 whites to get 4 money. So we've done that. Our turn's over. We're going to take their final turn. Now they have an additional die to work with. So we're going to look. Do they have 3 greens? Or 3 yellows, 3 greens, 3 blacks? Nope. Do they have 2 greens? Sorry, 2 yellows. They do, which says swap out 3 whites for a purple. They cannot do that. So they're going to take the default action, which is spend 1 white for $1 or a Kron. So they do that. And then they have 2 greens. Can they spend 2 greens for 3 money? They cannot, so they're going to do it again. We're going to spend those both. Spend the 1 white for a money. And that is a round. So the game end has not been triggered, so we're going to move on to the workshop phase. That's going to refill shops. It's going to re-roll dice on the board, and it's going to stand up our workers, and we'll do that again until one of us triggers the end of the game. So here, we're going to add 1 purple. We're going to re-roll this. And this particular tile is whenever you roll a dice on here, you place the material on that tile. And then when we come to that place, we can buy 1 thing to take everything from there. We're going to add 3 whites to here. I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but you cannot visit a tile that you have a laid down apprentice, but you can visit a tile with a standing apprentice. So on my turn, I can actually move this person here, lay him down, and take that action. So that is something to keep in mind. We'll add 2 here. We'll add 2 there. We'll add 3 here. And we'll re-roll these dice. And we can go over it really quickly. This main place lets you draw 4 cards of whatever deck you have available. At the beginning of the game, we can only take the laborer cards, but as we unlock, we can get to the other commissions. You'd be able to draw 4 cards and take one of those cards and then discard everything else, or you can take the top of the deck and draw and get 4 money. This tile, like I said, every time we roll a die on this tile, we add the material that we roll. And then when we come over here, we can keep the results and just buy everything that's there, roll the dice, or swap it with the die in the pool. And when we swap it, we roll it, and then pay 1 for each of the most expensive, pay for the 1 most expensive thing there, and then take every material. So that's a good way to get a diverse material and not spend a lot. This one lets you roll 1 die from the pool, and then buy the material shown. Or you can roll another die and keep doing that. So you have to buy everything that's there, but you can push your luck there for that. And then this one lets us swap a die with one in the pool and roll the new die, or roll up to one die on this tile and then buy all the material there. So again, another way to buy a variety of material. Okay, so we're going to roll. Give him this, this, and this. And we can't take this action because we don't have 2 whites. So let's begin our turn, and let's go ahead and go 1, 2, and spend 1 money. Take this, and then we'll take these for 0. And again, we can take that because we have a standing one, not a sitting one. We're going to look at their turn. Do they have one? Do they have a 3 purple? Nope. Do they have 2 purple? Nope. Do they have 2 red? 2 yellow? Nope. Do they have 1 of each color? They do. So it says swap 1 gray die in the bazaar with a die used to trigger this ability. So we're going to swap this with this. This gets rolled and goes here, and then they got 3 gray dice. Our turn. And let's actually go here. So we're going to go here, and we're going to use this ability, and we're going to do it. It says, so keep the die result, or roll the die, or swap this die with one in the pool. If I do swap this with one in the pool, it'll maybe stunt them from doing something, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to swap it with one of these, which means if I take one of these, they lose an action here, but this one goes to the pool, which means they've already done it. They're not going to be able to do it. So we're going to take the die from the pool, and I think, again, we do roll it. Let me just make sure we don't take whatever the value is on that die. Every time you roll a die on this tile, during the workshop phase in each round, roll a die. Action, you may then bribe the attendant here to let, okay. It just says to swap it. You may bribe the, you may keep the die result shown on the tile. Alternatively, you may either roll a die on the tile or swap it with the tile from the pool and then roll the new die. Okay, so I do roll this die. Okay, it's a green. So we're going to add a green to it, and then we're going to buy the single most expensive one, which is a 4, which red is 4, and so then we take everything on there for 4. Okay. So our turn's done. Now they're going to go to their turn. Do they have 2 reds? They do. Move each rival apprentice to the position of a different player apprentice. Remove 1 material from each of those tiles and keep all removed material. So this one's going to come here. They're going to keep one of those. This would move here, and this would move here. I mean, you could switch them around. They're going to go there. So they're going to keep that. They have 1 green. They do swap this with the black tile of one that they... swap it with the black tile. So they're going to swap it with that and keep that one. Okay, we have 1 final turn left this round. And I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to spend 3 money. Hold on, do I want to do that? Let me think about it for a second. If I keep some of the whites, I'll be able to get some money during income, so I don't want to do that, I think. I have 4 money. So let's go here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll take this one. So swap this die with 1 from the pool. We'll swap this one with 1 in the pool. And roll the die. And then we have to buy all the material. So roll the new die or roll up to 1 other die in this tile and then buy all the material. And we have to buy all or none. So we're going to buy all the material, which is only going to cost us 2 money because the whites are 0 and the yellow is 2. And then let's actually go ahead and do this. We'll commission this. So we're going to spend this and this to commission this. That's 6 money. 2 greens. And a movement on this track. Now that we get 2 income during the workshop phase. Now that we moved up this track, we get to take 2 cards from this deck and choose 1 of them. And this one's got a lot of greens, but this also gives us income. But this has a lot of greens, and I've already worked towards that, so we'll take this one. All right. Now we're going to look. Do they have 2 greens? They do, so they're going to swap 2 greens for 3 money. They don't have 2 greens to do that with. So they're going to swap out. They're going to do the default action, which is exchange 1 white for 1 money, but they have no white, so they can't do that. And then down here, they trade 2. If they had a white die, they're going to trade 2 yellows for 5 money, but they can't do that, so they'll do the default action, which they can't do anyway. So that is their turn. That is the round. Let's go ahead and move on to the next round. So we'll refill. This rolls for a yellow. We stand up. We're going to add 3 whites here. We're going to add, so here we'd add 2 reds, but because it's going to exceed all, there's only 1 spot left. These are sold out for the round. We're going to go here and add 2 yellows. 3 greens. If I can get them all. And then these dice will be re-rolled. The dice pool will be re-rolled. I think that was a yellow. I think I bumped it. Okay. And then we're going to get income. We're going to get 2 money. And we have no whites, so we can't get the 4 money. But we do get 2 money. All right. On to the next round. The game goes pretty quick, actually. So we need yellows. We need whites. Now, one of their apprentices here. So if we go here, we have to pay him a money. So maybe we'll hope he moves. We're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to spend 8 money here to get all 6 of the, or all 4 of those. Like so. They're going to go. Do they have 2 reds? They do, so they can remove 3 greens and keep 2 of them. And then with their yellow die, move the leftmost apprentice to the highest unoccupied tile with the most number of resources. So this one gets moved to here. And then remove and keep 1 of those material. They're going to do that one. Put those there. Okay, well, I was hoping somebody would move there, and they just moved everybody there. We do need the 2 whites. Is there a better way to get the whites? We could do converting, which wouldn't be bad, because we could go here and do this conversion, and we can do it up to 6 times. We're going to spend 2 of our greens to get 6 white cubes. And I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but we can always go back to the Maidan tile regardless of where we are, how far away we are from it. So we're probably going to end up doing that, although we can make it there still. All right. They're going to do their turn. They have 2. They do. It says remove a green or purple and keep it. So they're going to keep that purple. And then move the leftmost apprentice to the closest unoccupied one of these tiles. So the leftmost apprentice, closest unoccupied one would be this one, because I'm here. It's occupied. That's their turn. And then we are gonna move to the Maidan here, and we're gonna draw. Oh, I can play this out. We're gonna draw 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep 1 of them. So this is interesting. That'll get us a resource every turn. Yeah, let's go for this one, I think. Okay, we're gonna do that one, and then I forgot to commission this last turn, but it's okay. We're gonna spend 3. 2, 3, oops, and 2 to build this one out. 6 money. 2 movement on here, which now lets us move up to 4 spaces, and then 2 points at the end of the game. Okay, and then we're going to go with the AI's last turn. So do they have 2 greens? They do. The 2 greens let them swap this out for 3 money. So I'm going to just trade these 2 out for a 5. And then they have a white. Do they have 2 yellows to switch out for 5 money? They don't, so they're going to swap out. The default action is swap this out for a single money. Okay, and that's the end of the round. So let's go ahead and we'll refill. We'll roll this, which is a green. We'll add 3 here. We'll add 2 reds. We'll stand up. We'll add 2 yellows. I need a little bit of a better engine going for some yellows. We'll add 3 greens. We'll stand up here and re-roll these. Okay, and then we'll re-roll this. So this is where some of the things can get really interesting, where you can look to see, okay, what are they going to do with their actions, and kind of swap dice out and kind of block them that way. That's probably where the most interaction comes within the single player. Okay, so we can remove 2 to get 4 money plus another 2 money, so that's 6. So that's probably what you have to do against some of the harder difficulties, because this is we're playing the easiest difficulty right now. So that's probably something you have to do, is really pay attention to what they've got going on and how to block them really effectively. Okay, so we need some yellows. That would be going here. Maybe we can go here and try to push our luck a little bit there. So let's go there. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to roll this dice. Gets us a red. And then we're going to spend 4 money to take everything. One. Okay. So what do they got? They're going to remove 3 greens and keep 2 of them with their 2 reds. Then they're going to use their single purple to gain a white, because there's no single purple action. They haven't moved this at all, which is actually pretty crazy to think. They've not moved this whatsoever. All right, where do we want to go? I probably want some more cards too, but I need to get some stuff built out. So yeah, I probably need some more cards. So let's just go here. We'll take the 4 money and just draw a card. We'll just take the top card there. They're going to look, do they have 2 greens? Remove the highest material from the tile with the high. Remove all material from the one with the highest number of material, which is this one. And they're going to keep 2 of them. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, that's what I get. And then because this empties out, this actually refills on its own based on that symbol there. And then the red, move the rival apprentice closest to Maidon to the closest unoccupied trader tile. So the closest one to Maidon is this one and this one, so we get to break ties, and they go to the closest trader tile, which we'll put this one there. Because I can't even do that conversion anyway. I don't have any purples. Okay, we're going to go, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, because again, we can move 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to spend 3 money to take all 5 of those. And then I might have missed this up earlier, but that does refill on its own. So if I've ever, that should always at least have 1 more on there. So I might have missed that from earlier. And then we're going to actually build this one out. So we're going to spend 4, 1 and 1. That's going to get us 6 money. A green. 1 movement on the skill track and 2 points at the end of the game. Okay. And the AI is going to take their final turn. Do they have 1 of everything? They do. So they turn all their red into a skill, but they have no red, so they're just going to spend this for 1 money and end their go. All right, so we'll add this. We'll re-roll this. We'll add these here. We'll add 2 red. We'll add 3 green. 2 yellow. And re-roll this. And then for income, I am going to spend these 2 because we really don't need the white right now, and we'll get 6 money total. I'm going to trade 2 of these 5s in for a 10. And then we'll re-roll all this. My engine doesn't have a lot going on, but we are getting some steady income, so I don't have to really worry so much about that there. Okay, and I mean, getting the white, like, it's a better benefit because if I at least get 1, if I get, the white every turn, the 2 of them are free, so it's basically free money if I take those. So I do want to probably consider that. But I need some yellow. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go here, so 1, 2, and spend 8 money to take those 4. And then we're going to complete this one, so it's going to be 1 of these, and the 4 that we just got. Gets us 12 money. And then 2 points in the game, and then during the thing, we'll get to roll 1 of the pool dice and take the benefit for that. 1 of the gray dice from the pool. Okay, white dice for them. They're going to remove 2 yellows and keep 2, but there's no yellows for them to take, so these become a white. They gain a white. And then move the rightmost apprentice to the closest unoccupied dice tile. So they're both occupied, so they can't take that. So they're going, because you can't count the tile that they're on, so they won't count that. So they'll just turn that in for a white cube. We're gonna go here, and I'm gonna spend 2 money to take all of these, and then that refills on its own. They've got 3 green. They're gonna remove 3 red and keep 2 of them. And then we're going to take our last action. We're going to go back to here, and we're going to draw these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is interesting. So I could build this out. It's going to cost me 3 money to make 2 of these, and I can spend 2 for 4 money. So I could basically, as long as I have 3 money, I can get extra money for it. That's kind of funny. But I want to move on this track, so I think we're going to go for that one because it's going to let me move on that track the most. And I only need some red and some yellow. So, okay, and then they're going to spend their 2 whites, move the rival apprentice closest to Maidon and gain a skill. So the closest one to Maidon is this one. So they're going to move that there, and they're going to gain 1 on the skill track. Then, which I don't think they've... Is that the first time they've moved on this track, really? I guess so. And then they're going to take the default action, which is spend 1 of these for a money. Okay. I still find it hard to believe that's the first time they moved on that track. Okay. I just hope I didn't bump it earlier. All right. So now we're going to reset everything. That gets added. We'll roll the dice there. That adds a red. 3 get added to here. Two get added to here. Two get added to here. 3 would get added, but because it's full, that's sold out. And then these get re-rolled. And then we're going to get our income, so we get to roll 1 of the die here to get that reward, so it's going to be a yellow. And then we can sell these 2 for 4 money, and then we get 2 more money, so it's a net of 6. And then we'll re-roll all this. All right, and that's going to be the beginning of the next round. Okay. So we need red, and I think we'll go here and we'll buy all this red. So it's going to cost us 3, 6, 10 to buy all that. They're going to go, do they have 2 reds? They do, so they're going to remove all the green and keep 2. They can't do it because there's no green, so they're just going to get a white from the supply. Then they have a single purple that they can't use, so they get a white from the supply. We need some more yellow. We'll go 1, 2, 3. We're going to re-roll this. Although we can swap this, roll this die, or swap it with 1 from the supply. We're going to swap it from the supply. So this gets rolled for the bot, and then we're going to take 1 of these and roll it. And a yellow gets added. And then we're going to buy them all for 4. Because 4 is the most expensive thing on there. And we're going to build this. So we're going to spend these, this, and this. That's going to get us 7 money. 2 movement on here. So now we have the option for the most. We get to draw 2 cards from this stack and keep 1. Discard a card for a red. But it gives me only 4 points in the game, where this gives me 5, but I get to move 2 on the skill track. I think we'll take this one. And then this gets tucked under and becomes a benefit to us. We get basically a green on income. Okay. The AI is going to go. Do they have 1 of each color? They do. So they're going to spend 2 money to move 2 on the skill track. It's going to get them a green. Then on a single yellow, move the leftmost apprentice to the closest unoccupied one of these tiles. They're both occupied. So they just turn this in for a movement on the skill track, which is the green and yellow. Okay, so now I need to get purple going. And I did have a lot of money income. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're here. So we can go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to spend 14 money to take 2 of these. And we're going to end the go. They're going to go down here. They're going to trade all of their, because it's one of each color, they're going to trade all their reds in for 1 movement on this each, which gives them 2 reds back, so they effectively don't do anything but move on that track twice. And that's going to be the end of the go. So let's add in here. We're going to roll this. It's going to add a yellow. We'll add 3 to this. We'll add 2 to here. We'll add 2 to here. The green's funny because it's like we haven't been able to do anything with the green. And then these will get re-rolled. And then for income, I don't have 2 whites. I do get 2. I get a green, 2 money, and I get to roll a gray die, which is going to give me a red. And then we'll re-roll all of the bots dice. Okay, so I need to get yellow, which there's a ton of yellow there, but I don't really have the funds for it at the moment. I do want to get some white, but right now it's not that lucrative, because if I get the white, it's gonna, for me to basically break even. I mean, I could spend 2 to get 2 later on, so I probably don't want to do that. So how can I get yellow? Well, there's nothing that costs me green, so maybe I could go here and trade them in. So we can go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to spend these 3 for 3 yellows. Doing that trade. And then spend a yellow, a purple, and a red to get 6 money. 1 movement on this track. And 5 points in the game. Now that we're here, basically when we draw 4 cards to take 1, we can keep 2 instead of keeping 1, we can keep 2. And we're 2 commissions away from triggering the end of the game as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so now they're going to go, do they have 2 yellows? They do. They're going to move all the yellows and keep 2. Ugh. Our go now. I want to avoid paying them if I can. We'll go ahead and bring this person back here. We'll pay them the money for it. And let's draw 4 and keep 2. Ooh, that's 3 movement up. Could be interesting. And one of everything, which might not be hard to do. So maybe we'll keep that one. And keep that one. We'll play with it and see if we can maybe do one of the 2 of those. Okay, they're going to go. Do they have 1 of every color? They do. So they spend 2 money to go on this track twice, which gets them a purple. I said all that stuff about them not going up on that track, and then they've gone up it a ton of times. Move the rival closest to the... move the rival apprentice closest to Maidon to the closest unoccupied trader tile. So they're going to go to this one, and they're going to move up on this track. Okay, so I need a green and a yellow. We could go here and do this conversion and spend 2 red for 2 yellow and 3 green. And then let's go ahead and do this commission, so 1 of each. It's going to get us 8 money. 3 movement on here, 1, 2, 3. Which now I can commission 2 things on a turn instead of 1. And then we're going to get 3 points at the end of the game. And then we can trade in 2 green and a red for a purple. I hope I can get this one built. We'll have to see if we can work that out. And then finally, they have on their last turn, swap a white die in the bazaar with a die used to trigger this and gain 1 on the skill track. So they're going to swap this with this. and gain 1 on the skill track, which will score them 2 points at the end of the game. Okay, that's the end of the round. We'll move on to the next round. Likely the final round. We'll see. So these all wipe out, and then at least 1 stays, so that 1 gets to stay. 2 get added to there. 2 get added to here. 3 get added to here. And we got to re-roll that. Okay. And then we get to re-roll a gray die. So it's going to give us a yellow, and then I get a green. So unfortunately, it's things I can't really use, and then I get 2 money. And then we'll re-roll all this. Okay, and then for us, let me consolidate some of this a bit. So there's 5, 10, and that's 10. So I'll get 2 10s for that. Okay. It's too bad I didn't get a red from that die roll, but that's okay. I think we're going to be able to afford to do some stuff. So I think the first thing we'll do is go here, and we'll spend 14. No, we'll spend 7. We'll spend 7 for 1 purple. Then they're going to go. They've got 2 reds, so it says remove. They're going to remove 3 greens to keep 2 of them. And then move the leftmost apprentice to the unoccupied tile with the highest number of materials. And okay, so leftmost apprentice to the tile with the unoccupied tile with the most materials. And keep and remove 1. And I needed to go there. So they kind of messed me up a little bit, but that's okay. What is the yellow exchange? Over here, it's kind of far. We can go there. 1, 1. Oh, we're here. So 1, 2, 3. We can go here. Exchange this for this. And then we're going to commission this. It's going to get us 6 money. 4 points at the end of the game, and we've triggered the end of the game. So we do get this tile. And we're going to carry out this final round, and then the game is over. So they're going to spend these 2 here, move each rival to the apprentice position of a different player apprentice, and keep a material. So this will move there, this will move there, this will move there, and they keep 1. And then they would do it again. So I don't know if they would do this again. Move each apprentice to the position of a different player apprentice. Because they could technically rotate and then take this again. So I think that's the way they would do that. And if not, let me know. But I think that's the way they would do that. Okay, our final turn of the game. And there's not really anything to yield me points. Unless I can draw something that costs 2 green. But I don't think there's really anything to yield me any points here. Because all the points are gathered from moving on this track or the things we've commissioned. So I think I can kind of stop him from maybe doing something. So can I swap out one of his black dice with something? There's only black dice here, so I'm not going to really be able to do that either. The action that he'll take is trade 2 of his yellows in for 5 money, and then turn 1 of his whites into 1 money. So he's going to get 3 points basically, because he gets 1 point for every 2 money. There's something that I can do. Probably not. So let's just go 1. I'll go 1, 2, 3, which I could do anyway. We'll look at 4 cards and keep 1. Maybe I can get something built really quickly. I'll keep 2, we'll keep those 2. And then his turn, white die, he spends these 2 to become a 5. And then he spends this to convert one of these into a money. Okay, and the end of the game's been triggered. I can't do anything with my hand, so we're going to count up the victory points. Now, victory points really at the end of the game. You can kind of keep track of some of them throughout the game. And in multiplayer, it would make more sense to track it as the game goes, but in single player, these are all scored at the end because there's conversions for him. So we're just going to do everything at the end of the game. So he scores 2 points for getting on that spot on the track. We score 2 points for triggering the end of the game. We don't get any for our track, so let's score his end game parameters up. So the first one's 1 point for every 2 money, so it's going to be 5 points. He gets 1 point for every set of this, that's another 1 point. And then here he gets 2 points for every set of this, so that's 2, 4, and 6. So that puts him at 14 points total. We're going to score basically all of these. So I've got to somehow get at least 13 points in this. So it's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22. All right, so we kind of beat him, 22 to 14. So that is a game at Tabriz. It's really fast. All the tiles are double-sided, so there's different things on the backs of some of these. There's an additional bonus tile for doing the crowdfunding. So you swap out I think you swap out this one for this. And the trades are different depending on what you want to do. These are different as well. And then there is an alternate advanced mode that instead of getting income, at the beginning of the game, we're going to take one of these cards. I think there's maybe 2. And it basically gives us our starting money. And then it gives us a starting workshop bonus. So some of these require conversions. And then when you go to this spot, you basically get to take a workshop action and draw a card. So you can, instead of getting income, you'll get to do your own personal workshop action. If you do that, the A actually starts on one spot here. So they actually get to go a little bit faster on there. This also does not count towards as one of your commissions, so you still have to get the 9 to trigger the end of the game. And then on the back of all these boards are different AI opponents with different behaviors and different priorities. The blue is the easiest, but there is several. So blue is medium, and it goes all the way up to very hard. The blue opponent says takes materials out from under you, so that's why I took a lot of the greens. It converts them into higher values for itself. This opponent is the second hardest, which is hard. It upgrades their actions and materials using blocks and blocks the trade tiles. This one's also hard. The pink plays a little at every aspect of the game and is very difficult to slow down. This one's hard plus. The black, it says the rival hires additional apprentices and sends them from the Maidan to collect materials and thwart your efforts. And then the very hard is the yellow. The rival actually blocks your efforts and can charge you more than one Kron to use the tiles you occupy. So based on like how these tiles flip and take some stuff from the pool, it could just be a matter of like they start with different stuff, and then obviously depending on the opponent you use, they're going to do different things. So there's a lot of variability in the solo, and the solo behaves very, very differently. And even playing against this opponent, there was one game where they just got a ton of up on this, and they didn't get a lot of these. This game, I've had it to where, they scored, I had it where they scored 20 or 10 points off of coins because they converted them so quickly. So it's very different. You definitely can switch the board up and play against the same opponent, and the die rolls, depending on how the dice are manipulated, you can take from them and things like that. So I think I've beaten him twice. I've lost to him once, so I think I'm ready to go against the next opponent to see how hard they are. But there's definitely variability in that, and depending on how these come out, you can get some different engines going. Didn't really have a good engine going, but like, of course, you can get these two out and then basically get a green every turn by that conversion, or could have made it 1 white to get 4 money instead of 2. You know how it is. So you definitely you can engine build in such a way to make your next subsequent rounds a little more effective. So there's a lot to this game, and it's actually very, very simple to learn, which I found very fascinating. So that is going to be Tabriz. If you guys want to see some more, please let me know. There's different opponents to play against, and I'm hoping to get the metal coins. So maybe we'll do a playthrough once I get the metal coins, just because I like clinking them around. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.